people are constantly raising the bar.
Sacrifices need to be made.
What would you guys say are your biggest weaknesses?
You are your enemy right now.
Is success a lie?
Just a fucking podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to the Student Side Hustle. This week I'm talking to Fraser Grew. He has started a very interesting project that I think is very inspirational but also quite practical, and it shows you everyone's perspective, also the people who are successful, but he does show the people who are just normal people trying to achieve their dreams. And if you want to figure out what this is, it is basically he videos people telling their dreams, and I'll get him to explain it a bit more in depth. But Fraser, how did you get into this whole thing, into film, into this whole thing about capturing dreams and showing them?
Well, basically, man, my journey begins when I had a dream when I was 7 years old, and it was to change the whole world through film. That was my big dream. And so I started my film company when I was 7.
Yeah.
It was called Frog Productions, and that's because my nickname growing up was Frog. That's what my parents called me. So when I was making little Action Man Barbie movies, my parents were like, "Oh, you should call your company Frog Productions."
Yeah.
And so every film I've ever made since I was a kid has had Frog Productions on it.
Yeah.
And so basically made films up at my whole life. So at 16, I got into film school. I got early acceptance.
Yeah.
And I graduated at 19.
Yeah.
And in film school, we were told that you would never be able to make a feature film straight out of school. You'd have to work as like an assistant or something for 10 years. And I disagreed with that. So I spent the next year and a half, and I raised $100,000 from film and friends and family.
Yeah.
And grabbed my class, and they were my crew, and we made our first feature film, which was called Sirenia. And that came out in cinemas in 2015 in August. So it came out for a week at Rialto, which is pretty damn awesome.
Yeah.
But my 10,000 Dreams project began on December the 6th, 2016. I remember because I'm doing it every day, so it was 429 days ago or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was with a mate at a coffee shop, and he was about to travel to the States, and I was like, "Oh, dude, every day in America you should ask someone what their favorite ice cream flavor is."
Yeah.
And then that kind of moved on to you should ask someone what their why in life is.
Yeah.
And then we realized Rebel Sport had already done that. So that then progressed to asking someone what their dream was every single day. And I was like, "Oh, that's a pretty good idea." And I was like, "I'll do it for a year. I bet you I could do it for 1 year." And so the next day I was meeting with Art Green, the Bachelor.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yo, dude, do you mind being number one?" And he said, "Yeah." And I've done it every day since. And so it was originally 365 days.
Yeah.
And about 260 days through, I was getting Jacinda Ardern's dream. And I was like, 1 year's just not enough. It's too easy. And I was like, the next logical step is, 10,000 days. It's 27. That's the next logical step, eh? And so basically I changed it. So now it's 10,000 dreams. And every day for the rest of my life, basically, I'm filming someone saying what their dream.
That completely baffles me, because it is to write a book, it takes 1 year, 2 years, but this is you can't finish it till you're 50. There's no way, there's just nothing you can do to finish it until you're 50. Do you go out and stockpile record dreams, or is it you go out every day, you go out, record a dream, edit it, and then post it? Because I can imagine, I don't know how heavy the workload does get, but it's I can imagine it becoming quite a heavy thing.
Yeah. So I aim to film someone every day.
Yeah.
But there is the odd occasion where you put in a room with a bunch of amazing people and you kind of stock some up.
Yeah.
The next 30 years, I'm bound to have a day where I physically can't. I'm in the Amazon, or I'm in hospital or something, and I can't post the dream. Yeah. So I've got kind of a bunch stored up, and I've got somebody that's going to post them if, say, I can't one day for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But I try to. I want to challenge myself. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
I guess.
And to make sure that you just actually do it every single day, just get in that habit. Is it do you find it relatively easy now? It's at first I can imagine it being quite oh shit, gotta post my dream. Don't want to forget about that. And then do you find it relatively easy now?
Dude, like the first 100 days, it was like the biggest burden of my life. I was like, why the heck am I doing this?
Yeah.
This is so painful, like having to go out every day.
Yeah.
And I kind of only gave it 50% for
Yeah.
the first 100 days. And then I had a bit of a wake-up call, and I filmed a dog stream one day because I was being I just got really lazy, and
Yeah.
I added subtitles on the dog,
Yeah.
and I posted it, and I was just so embarrassed by it. I was
Yeah.
like, oh man, that is just so low. That's like the lowest you can get with this project.
Yeah.
So the next day I was like, you know what, I got to take this seriously. So the next day I went to like a mosque, a monastery, and we just went out to like all these crazy places that we'd never have gone before.
Yeah.
Church of Scientology. And yeah, and since then, man, it's an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
You definitely go in periods of up and down.
Yeah.
You know, there's
Yeah.
the odd week where you feel very uninspired.
Yeah.
But then you have like a week where you're doing like we did the elections, we did all
Yeah.
the leaders of the election, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh man, this is so awesome what we're
Yeah.
doing right now. But the problem I have is because I'm a filmmaker, I kind of focus so much on like how I film each stream
Yeah.
that I feel like perfectionist, and if
Yeah.
I'm not happy with how I filmed one, I would be like reluctant to post it, or
Yeah.
I would be like, oh, I'm not happy with it.
Yeah.
But I started to realize that's not the point of the project. Like, to that person, it's important that I post that dream rather than me worrying about little things like lighting or what.
Like, one thing that I really like about it is how you keep it, like, I think you were interviewing, I can't quite remember who it was, but I think it was a radio person, and you didn't just cut to the exact moment the question was asked. He was like, okay, what do I do? How does this roll? And, like, you had those few seconds before it, and, like, it just was, like, very natural, and then you just rolled into that. And
yeah, so that's
yeah,
kind of like the style I've kind of chosen to go with. Like, don't cut. So when I film with someone, I literally put it in on the editing software, and I never trim it. I just let it play out. Because I think there's something so cool about seeing like the bloopers afterwards, or seeing how people react afterwards.
Yeah, and it just shows like there was this one where it was a kid, and he was saying he wanted to play for the Broncos, and then all his friends were there.
And they went crazy.
Yeah, that one. And it was just so like raw, and like it wasn't like him like sitting in a chair saying it really like slowly and just like calmly. It was him like quickly saying it, and then all his friends just like screaming and stuff. And I just think it's really funny. How do you go about finding like the people who are like the more successful people, like the Jacinda Arderns, the political party leaders, like people on the radio? Like, how do you go about finding and networking with these people and just getting them to give you their time? Because for me, I find when I'm pitching people who are really like successful and their time is obviously really valuable, a lot of the time it's very hard to get their time. How do you go about getting into their time?
It's basically like a domino effect day. Like, I'm lucky that before I started this project, I'd worked with quite a lot of kind of famous people with my film projects.
Yeah.
So I kind of I was kind of buddies with some people.
Yeah.
Like, hence I started with Art Green, you know, starting with a famous person kind of gave it like a cool kind of image straight away.
Yeah.
But it just, the more famous people we got, the easier it is now to get famous people, because a lot of them actually know about the project, which is pretty awesome. Like, everyone in radio and TV knows about us now because we've done like half of them.
Yeah.
But otherwise, guessing emails. It's so easy to guess emails, man. And
like
so
guessing.
I just...
Like...
Yeah, you just guess. Everyone has, like, one of 10 emails addresses. And you guess. Like, I guess so many, like,
I've
crazy
never
people.
thought of that. Do you, like...
Dude,
would it be, like, you'd say first name dot last name, and then you try first name, last name, no dot, like, stuff like that?
It will come back straight away saying, oh, this is not a real email address. And you just keep going. And then sooner or later, you get no... email back, and you're like, oh my gosh, I got it. Like, I got a commercial with Richie McCaw because I guessed an email address. I got a commercial with Fiji Airways filming Kings in Fiji because of guessing an email address. My favorite tennis player in the world is Nick Kyrgios. I guessed an email address and got a film with him.
Yeah.
It's so easy, bro.
Well, I did not even think of that. I thought it would just be so, like, I'm assuming people who were high up there would have, like, Like, for example, like Helen Clark, I think it'd be like Helen.Clark56989, just to like keep it private or whatever, and like keep it like Barack Obama. Like, I feel like when you're at that level, your email has to be cryptic or some like thing.
Yeah. There's certain people that it's super hard to get emails,
Yeah.
but like I found radio and TV.
Yeah.
I kind of started out trying to approach the presenter or the celebrity like in person, and it was quite difficult to get them that way. So I was like, if I approach the producer of their show, that might be better. And I've never been turned down when I've approached the producer.
Yeah, because I feel like, especially because how much time does it take to film one of these? Like maybe 30 seconds of filming, but then you actually got to get in there. You got to have a conversation, like hello, yes, and you got to get like in between.
So when I approach like an unknown person, it's basically, look, all I need is 1 minute of your time.
Yeah.
I will come to wherever you are.
Yeah.
And this is what we're about. And usually they're like, oh, yeah, cool. Because it doesn't require much work. And usually they buy into the vision and they really...
Yeah.
And it helps that it's 10,000 dreams now. Like when it was 1 year, they were kind of like, but when it's 10,000 days, it's kind of like, wow, that's so ambitious that people kind of want to be involved.
Yeah. And I feel like it's such a like high level thing now where it's like someone's got to do it. Like there's 10,000 people that need to be there, and like 1 minute, literally, like people waste a minute drinking coffee. Like people waste minutes every like.
Exactly.
And like, do you find meeting all these people? Because I guess you've had the connections before, but do you find it has like improved your network when, say, you want to do a different project, you can actually talk to these people and say, like, oh, we've had this positive interaction before. Now I can go and talk to them and be like, hey, can we do this? Or
Definitely, bro. It's opened up so many doors.
Yeah.
Like, as I mentioned before, it started out as like a bet with a mate.
Yeah.
And now it is like the best networking, marketing thing we could have possibly have done.
Yeah.
And we did not think it would happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've now like got like all the phone numbers, all the email addresses of all these people, and it's I'd feel very comfortable going back to them and going, hey, I'm doing this other project, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like you're leaving it on a very, hey, I only took a minute of your time. The last interaction was very easy, positive, happy. And it's like, I feel like it's hard for them to come off and be like, oh, he wasted my time. Like, no, because it's a minute, it's a fun minute, like, and it's like...
Oh, yeah. And also, like, what we do is we call it the critical non-essentials. So it's stuff that you don't have to do, but when you do it, it's really awesome. So we give them, like, a gift and something. Yeah. So we film with them, we give them a gift, and they're usually always like, what? Oh, you didn't have to do that? Oh, hey, if you want me to share it, or if you want me to get you in touch with other... Yeah. So that, it always works, man. Like, just being really nice always works.
Yeah, because I found the thing for me is when I'm pitching guests down from the show, it's like, I find it hard to give value to them. Because, like, if they're coming on the show, it's like they're giving me a lot of value by being here, by giving up their time and coming on the show. And it's hard. I find it hard to give back the value because I find the only way I can really give that back is with listeners or with if they market a product or if they do something like that. And I don't know, like, I find it very hard to do that. I've had a few people in person where, like, I can help them out. Like, for example... One of my friends, he's wanted to start his own podcast, and I taught him how to do that. And then, like, I've taught him how to do some editing stuff and stuff like that, where it's just sort of stuff I've learned along the way. But I find it hard to, like, for example, there's this one big fitness person in New Zealand, and I've been trying to get them on the show, but they know that the show is small, and, like, I know that their time is valuable. And the thing I struggle with is I don't want to, one, look sort of like an immature kid trying to play with their time or just have like a laugh with their time. Like, I want them to see it as a business thing and like as a professional thing. But I think I don't have the platform yet to do that. And do you have any advice for building the platform?
I guess it's time, eh?
Yeah.
Like, I probably experienced all this when I first started, eh? Like, it's hard to... But I think, luckily for us, as you probably know, like, the last month, we've gotten a lot of media, like, world attention. Yeah. Like, once the Daily Mail picked us up. Like, it opened up so many doors. So now when we approach people, it's got so much credibility. And then we say, oh, we've done Jacinda, we've done Sean Johnson, we've done the All Blacks. And suddenly they're like, oh, this is a big thing,
Yeah.
So I think once you get, the hard thing is getting that one person that opens the doors. But once you get one person, it becomes so much easier. So you just get one person and then, just run with it, man.
Yeah, because I found for myself, usually, I don't know how, but all the podcast guests somehow know each other. Like, I had this one guy, he lives in the UK, and he knows one of the other guests, and I didn't even know that until, like, 3 minutes before. And then I was like, what? And then it's just weird to think how all these people are connected. But have there been other sort of benefits that you didn't even expect or didn't even realize would happen?
I think, man, like, as I've said a couple of times now, it started as a bet.
Yeah.
Like, I probably didn't realize how important the project could be for a number of people.
Yeah.
Like, I've had so many people contact me saying it's actually helped me want to pursue my own dreams again, or it's my favorite part of every day.
Yeah.
And it's like, I started realizing, man, this could actually have a big impact, like, over the 30 years, if it's starting to take off now, what's it going to be like in 20 years?
Yeah.
And I guess it's just it's just coming to terms of, this kind of, like, this could help somebody live their dream, or it could encourage them. Because what I love, like, about it is I came from a home where my parents told me I could do anything I wanted.
Yeah.
And that is so easy for me to say because I came from a, middle class home.
Yeah.
I didn't have much to worry about. I had so many opportunities, but not everyone has that same opportunity.
Yeah.
And not everyone has a parent or a teacher or a friend that says, I believe in you, you can do it. And so I want my project to be that voice, to be the voice to somebody out there that's never been told that, and go, you know what, you can do this, and we believe in you. We're going to share your dream. And the ultimate goal I have is to turn this into a foundation where we share the dream, but then we actually help that person achieve. So
I feel like once you believe, or someone tells you, and you actually feel like you can do the thing, and then if you do go and do the thing, like, I feel like that changes everything. Like, for me, when I was in year, like, 11 of school, I was always a huge runner, but I could never win cross country. And then I in year 12, I didn't win again. And then in year 13, I knew I had to win. So then I just trained hard and I got it. And then literally from there, it blew my mind, like, the moment I did it. And I was just completely mind blown, because it was my, like, literally, for everyone else, it was just a small thing, doesn't matter. But, like, for me, it was my dream, because, like, I saw it as this impossible thing for literally my whole life. And then the moment I knew that I could do it, and the moment I knew I'd done it, it just changed, like, my sort of viewpoint on every other thing I could ever do in life. Just because it made these huge things seem not so daunting and not so, like, impossible. And it made me realize that the factor that matters is the work, not the luck, or not the genetics, or not any other factor, because I can only control the work. Yeah, I think that's, like, the thing that really changed it all for me. Is there any dreams that have really, like, had a huge impact on you and, like, made you really think at the time, and you're just like, wow?
Number, man. So I filmed my Nana's dream just before she died. That was pretty powerful, and that's really special to my family now, having that. A super kind of inspiring dream for me was early on we filmed a Kiwi tennis player's dream at the SB Classic. And I was like, what's your dream? He's a professional player. And I said, what's your dream? He said, to win a Grand Slam one day. And 4 months later, he won a Grand Slam, becoming the first Kiwi. It was Michael Venus in, like, 50 years to win a Grand Slam. That's, like, I'd say that's our first success story. We filmed a homeless guy, and his dream was to keep doing what he's doing. And to keep dreaming. And that surprised me. I did not think his dream would be that. but so many, man. Like I met this woman and at a party over Christmas, and I filmed her dream, and she was like, I've been suicidal and I want to write a book to help others who have been suicidal.
Yeah.
And I only just met her and she opened up completely.
Yeah.
And then the thing was, next day, Daily Mail approached me.
Yeah.
And I used her story. So the next day she was in Daily Mail and I only met her the day before, which was pretty cool for her to suddenly have. Yeah. So, man, there's so many dreams. Like, and the crazy, I can't even I can only recall 20% of them now.
Yeah.
It's all
because there's such a huge amount.
If you said what was day 200, I would have no idea in the world.
Yeah, I still have trouble.
Couldn't even.
I've only done
take it was day 200.
Yeah. Yeah, I've only done maybe 40 podcasts, and even now I'm like, what was episode 2? What was episode 18? I'm still what? And it's just hard to recall that. Do you have any? How have you found when it comes to cutting dreams? Say for example, if you did film it in a bad way and or the dream just didn't sort of appeal to you, or there was something wrong about either the recording or that. How have you found? Because it's quite a personal thing, recording a dream. And if you don't want to answer this, you don't have to answer it. But how have you found having to either cut a dream or just not run it?
There's been a couple of times where I haven't posted a dream. One example was a woman said a very negative dream about someone else. Yeah. It was quite mean what she said. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? This project's not about that. This project's meant to inspire people. I don't care if that's your dream. It's negative, and no one's going to feel inspired by listening to you. Yeah. The other time we filmed a monk at a monastery, which I was pretty stoked to get. Yeah. And I put on the computer, and his audio was like, my dream is... Yeah. Whole audio just went crazy. So I couldn't post that. I was gutted I couldn't post that. Yeah.
That scares me, because I'm always scared that I'm gonna the audio just isn't recording, and I just that scares me so much.
Especially when you film people like Jacinda and all that.
Yeah,
hey?
Yeah.
You're freaking out. You're that's my one opportunity. If it doesn't.
And it's you can't be hey, can we record again?
Exactly.
Oh, when I've had people that I've really admired on the podcast, if I don't know what I'd do if the audio was not there. Because it's half an hour, you can't just ask them for that time again. And it's just, that freaks me out.
But otherwise, man, if I was really disappointed with how I filmed it, and it was someone I knew well, I would refilm their dream. For one woman I know, I filmed her dream 3 times in an hour. I filmed it, looked on the computer, went back to her and said, can we do it again? Went and filmed it again, went back to the computer and said, I could do it better. And I kept going back. But that's a rare. Usually it's one-off and I have to kind of go, okay, that's it. Yeah. Just, it's authentic. You don't need to tweak it too much, you know?
Yeah. Do you have any tips for sort of filming and performing under pressure? Because you do a lot of TV interviews, and that is scary as hell for a lot of people. Most people could not imagine doing stuff like that. Do you have any tips for, one, filming under pressure? Because you don't want to mess that up. You don't want to have shaky cam. You don't want to sneeze halfway through. Do you have any tips for doing that, or also for being on a large stage?
Yeah, well, with filming, man, it's all practicing your craft, eh? I've done film since I was 7. Yeah. I now know how to film. Yeah. You know? Yeah. I feel very confident when I film a dream. I could set up in 20 seconds and be ready to go. Yeah. But it's also trusting your gut. If you feel like it's not right, then it probably isn't right. You know, don't be ashamed to go, actually, hold up. I'm not quite happy with how I'm filming this. Can we move angles? I've done that quite a lot of time. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just, I don't know, having a big smile on your face, making the person feel comfortable. Yeah. No matter who you're interviewing, no matter what you're interviewing about, you just want them to feel relaxed. Don't have stuff shining on their face or making them feel because most people, like you said, are terrified of being on camera.
Yeah.
And so you have to understand that, and you have to, like, because my approach is just going up to random people on the street.
Yeah.
And 80% of the people we go up to are going to be petrified.
Yeah.
But they usually say yes because of how I approach them. I buy them into it, and I make them feel warm, and I don't I kind of don't keep the camera away until they're ready to go. I give them time to think.
Yeah.
And I mean, with TV interview stuff, I've been quite lucky. Like, I'm a part of a business group. I've been a part of one for years now, where every Thursday you have to do like a presentation to like a group of 30 business owners.
Yeah.
And doing that for 2 years, you get confident doing pitches.
Yeah.
So, but I guess the best feedback I've had is I'm authentic on TV and on radio. And I don't change that. I've never had media training. I never want to, because I just be myself, Like, I say stuff that I'm like, oh, why did I say? But usually I just have a massive grin on my face, and I just try and inspire people. Yeah. And I guess I take it that I believe in my project, so I don't get why I'd be nervous, because I believe in my project. I know my project backwards. I could talk about it for the whole day. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess I've just kind of got over that point of being like, you know what? Be excited. Don't be nervous. Yeah. This is an amazing opportunity. You could inspire someone right now. Yeah. And so, but yeah, it doesn't change the fact that when you're sitting backstage about to go on, you're freaking out. Yeah. But the second you get up there, it's all good. Yeah. It's like amazing. And then afterwards you feel so good.
We'll finish off with this. What is your main piece of advice for someone who, one thing that I'm trying to encourage a lot is people who are scared to do the thing that they love, or they doubt that they can do the thing that they love? Because I think once you do the thing that you truly enjoy, everything changes. What is your advice for people who are scared to do something that scares them?
Okay, so the first kind of thing I would say, like when someone's like, I want to do a film, or I want to be an actor or a musician, the first thing would be, make sure you actually want to do that. Make sure that actually is your dream. It's not your parents' dream. It's not because you want to be famous or rich. I think a lot of people that want to do film or whatever, they think it's an easy route to getting famous. That's why they always go like only 1% will ever make it. Yeah. And that's because 95% of them, it's not their true calling in life that they would die, Yeah. And once you find that calling, you got to just give it everything. Like, I don't want to say the cliched work hard, because it's not so much working hard, it's working smart. Yeah. You got to do the right stuff. You could work 15 hours a day and get nowhere, or you climbing up the wrong ladder. You got to be on the right ladder that you were meant to do. And be nice to people. Yeah. Love others. Don't be a dick. That screwing people over might take you further faster, but it won't keep you there. You got to build relationships, and you got to treat people with respect, whether they're a 5-year-old or a 50-year-old who's a millionaire. Everyone deserves the same amount of respect, because everyone in the world deserves the right to dream. And everyone has a dream, whether they've discovered it or not. So I just have to have that mindset, man. I know there's so many times where you get more excited to film, Richie McCaw's dream rather than like some random guy down the street. Yeah. But you just have to go, you know what? This guy down the street, his dream is just as important. And everyone, like, it's not the chosen few that get to live an amazing life and live their dream. Everyone can. Yeah. And I know it's easy for me to say this, like I said, from where I came from, where my parents. That's why I really want to do this project, because I want everyone to have that mindset, and everyone deserves the right to hear stuff like this, because everyone is special. Everyone's got the X factor. You just got to find what it is.
Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Student Side Hustle. I would appreciate so much if you would leave a review if you'd like to hear more of what I'm saying. Then I would love if you would follow me on Instagram or check out my other social media, all linked in the show notes. And again, I would just like to say thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful evening and study hard.